How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm gonna show you how to budget for the car that you've always wanted. So in December of 2018, I actually bought my ideal car. I bought a 2017 Audi A3. So at that time, I put $3,000 down, and now my monthly payments are $495. So I'm gonna show you all the steps I took to actually budget for this car and to actually make sure that I could afford it before I bought the car. And this is especially important for those of you that have never had to have a car payment before or never bought a car before, and you're now putting that into your budget. Because a car can be a big financial expense that you have to take on. And just so you all know, when I did buy this car in the December of 2018, I was 21, turning 22, and I was only 6 months out of college. So I'm actually gonna walk you through the 3 steps I used when I bought my car to ensure that my budget looked sound and that I could afford the car for the foreseeable future. All right, before we get into the steps, I want you guys to go down below and comment what your dream car is. So go down there and let me know. After this video, you'll be 1 step closer to buying your dream car. All right, so step 1, we're gonna need to calculate your net pay. Now, a lot of people don't do this when they're actually budgeting. Your net pay is basically what money you're taking home after deductions such as savings, investment accounts, retirement accounts, Social Security, and all of that. Understanding what your net pay is crucial to be able to budget anything, let alone a car. So all you need to do this is your pay stubs. So you're gonna take this number that you're getting paid monthly. So say, for example, you get $4,000 in a month. Now you still probably haven't deducted any savings yet. So say out of that $4,000, you set aside $500 every month to be put in a high yield savings account. So we're gonna actually use that $3,500 after you put stuff into savings as your budget money. Okay, so I'm gonna do that for myself real quick. All right, so you can see this is how I'm doing my net monthly income calculation. So in this scenario, I'm gonna say my paycheck is 2 times a month at $2,200, and that's after retirement, after Social Security, and all of that. So my monthly take home would be $4,400. So let's say I save $500 a month. I'm gonna need to subtract that $500 from my total monthly net earnings. And that would leave me with $3,900 to budget with. Okay, so now that we know the amount of money we can actually budget with per month, we're gonna actually have to track our spending and set out kind of a normal mock budget based off our average everyday spend. Hopefully you guys are already doing this, tracking your expenses, have a rough budget, but if you don't, all you need to do is track your expenses over a month, block them into categories that make sense for you. And then from there, you can see what your budget is and you can see how much you're actually spending on certain things. So I'm gonna put up on the screen a mock budget I just made based off our $3,900 take home after savings, after Social Security and retirement. So let's pretend I tracked my expenses for the past month and this is what I got. These are the categories I came up with and this is how much I'm actually spending in a month. So I'm gonna go off the assumption that you're currently not paying an auto loan, you're not paying anything towards a car besides gas. So maybe you had a car in college that you're not paying for, or you got a car in high school that you're still driving. So now that we look at our actual spending per month, we can see in this scenario, my $3,865 is very, very close to that $3,900. Based off our current budget, we really wouldn't be able to buy a car. So that brings me to the 3rd and final step, actually executing your plan based off of your budget. So I'm gonna go over 2 scenarios for you. One is the dream scenario. So basically your dream car, whether it be a BMW, Range Rover, whatever you want, we're gonna go over your dream car scenario and how you can actually save to be able to afford this car in the future. I'll also be going over what I call a realistic scenario. That's kind of what I did and what most people should be doing. It's basically moving around your budget to be able to afford a car you want. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with the realistic scenario because it'll make the dream scenario a little bit easier to go over. Okay, so this one is pretty simple. We know we have a monthly budget of $3,900 and we already have our categories of where we usually spend it. You're gonna need to use some creative thinking to move that budget around and lessen some categories to be able to afford a car you want. So for example, let's say you wanted a new Honda Accord. You went to the dealership and you basically figured out that with a down payment you were comfortable with, your monthly payments would be around $400. So we now need to cut your current budget by $400 to be able to afford your new Honda Accord. So I'm gonna throw up another graphic on the screen. This is a before and after of the budget, after I did some tweaking to make room for that $400. So you could see in the yellow, my transportation budget went from $100 to $500. That incorporates the $400 per month payments that we've estimated. And you can see in the green that there were 3 categories I thought that I could cut back on per month for spending. And that would be restaurants, fast food, coffee, and miscellaneous expenses. So you can see the amounts I cut back on, and I do think that this is a realistic scenario. When you are doing this, you really need to ask yourself, what can I actually cut down on? What can't I cut down on? And is this feasible moving forward? You definitely don't want to be in a situation where you buy a car and have a monthly payment, and then you start not being able to afford the payments because you're not sticking to the budget you set. Okay, now we're gonna go over your dream car scenario. So let's say your dream car is a Tesla Model 3 and you want some modifications, you want all of the upgrades, so it's gonna be around $50,000. And say you tried the realistic technique, but there's no way you can move your budget around that much to be able to actually afford the Tesla. Here's what you're gonna do. So instead of moving your budget around to accommodate, say, a car payment, you're gonna move it around to put more into savings. Since the car is $50,000, say you calculated that you're gonna need a $25,000 down payment for you to be able to actually afford the monthly payments if you were to get a car loan. We're basically gonna do the same things we did in the realistic scenario. So instead of putting that extra $400 that we budgeted for towards a car payment, we're actually gonna be putting it towards savings. And now that you have that goal of $25,000 that you need to save to be able to afford this car, that savings can be going every month to this car fund. And eventually, a few years down the road, you'll be able to afford your dream car by just saving enough for a down payment that will make your monthly payments on the car loan way less. Now, I know a lot of the content in this video was very simplified, but everyone needs to understand the power of budgeting. It's not very hard, and it can get your finances on track for the goals you want in life. So you don't only need to use this for a car, you can use this when budgeting out for a vacation, for a house. Maybe you want to buy a new investment property to then rent out in the future. This can be done for it all. And remember, for most people, it literally is as easy as looking at your monthly budget, looking at your spending, and just trying to see where you can cut down. If you found this video useful, feel free to go down and give it a like button. It takes 2 seconds, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. In the next couple weeks, I'm gonna be pumping out a lot of new content because I am at home. Be sure to turn on the little alert bell too while you subscribe so you'll be notified when I do post videos. I have a goal of hitting 250 subscribers by May, so every subscriber counts. If there are any other topics that you want me to talk about, go leave them down below in the comments and I will definitely make a video about it. All right, that's it for now. Be on the lookout for my other videos. Have a good one.